What's up, guys, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to another video in my Crime-A-Ween series. Today's video is going to be a little something different. Rather than focusing on a true crime story, I'm going to be telling you guys the story of a haunted hotel. Partially because things like this scare the ever-living daylights out of me. I am a huge chicken, I will admit. I get scared at the haunted corn maze. And partially because the Meredith Kircher case that I am working on is a beast, and there is so much information, and I needed to give myself a little bit extra time to research. So be sure that you are subscribed to my channel with the post notification bell turned on. That way you will be informed when the numerous different parts of that video go live. And feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think of this type of video. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. Today we are going to be discussing the haunting of Canada's Banff Springs Hotel. So the year is 1871, and the first Prime Minister of Canada, a man named John A. Macdonald, has a dream. He wants a way to bring Canadians together. Everyone is so widely spaced out. So he decides the best way to connect the Pacific province of Canada with the eastern ones is by building a railway line. The aim was to get this railroad up and running within 10 years, so 1881, and it would serve two purposes. First, it would bring Canadians closer together, and second, it would allow manufacturers in the East to connect with the material and markets of Western Canada. However, construction on this railway line was not without its issues. One of them was the Canadian Rockies. This area was barren. They had high altitudes and rugged terrain, but this was the only route that could have been taken if they wanted a truly Canadian railway line. They could have dipped down into Wisconsin and Minnesota and used the Milwaukee railway line, but this would have added miles to the journey. However, the American option would have been cheaper. There was another reason that the Canadian government really didn't want America's help. At this time, America was focusing on expanding west, and many believed that it was only a matter of time until they had all of North America under their control. Their mind was made up. This was going to be a national project, and they were going to forge ahead with plans to build the railway through the Rockies. As a way to get these investors on board, they offered them major incentives. They told them that they could have these plots of land along the route, which could later be sold off for quite a bit of money. However, the area around the Canadian Rockies, known as the Canadian Shield, was completely barren, and investors were frustrated. They thought that this was going to be a quick way to make money, and they didn't see the return of investment on their land coming back anytime soon. So even though the investors were shaky, there were already two groups that were competing to get the contract to build this railway line. The first was the Canada Pacific Railway Company that was owned by venture capitalist Hugh Allen, and the other was the Interoceanic Railway Company. So in 1873, it was revealed that Hugh Allen had been bribing numerous Canadian officials, including the Prime Minister, so his company could get the contract to work on this railway line. Now, Macdonald would deny these claims, but he would go on to resign from office that same year. However, he was not done with politics quite yet. In 1878, Macdonald would resume the post of Prime Minister. So during the time that he was out of office, Canada suffered an economic depression. And while it was through no fault of their own, it was more outside influences, a lot of Canadians blamed the Liberal government at the time. And they were excited to see Macdonald back in office. During the time that Macdonald was out of office, the work on the National Railway line significantly slowed. So when he said that he was going to pick it back up, people got very excited. Canada was relatively new and had been relying on finances from both America and England, so they didn't really have anything to themselves, but this would have been a great way to build national pride without having to rely on other countries. Along with connecting them to each other, it could also bring jobs to the Canadian economy. So in 1880, Macdonald's government decided to sign a contract with the Canadian Pacific Railway. Now, this is a different company. There is no relation to Hugh Allen. In 1882, the railway officials grew tired of the slow progress that was being made, so they hired a general manager by the name of William Cornelius Van Horn to oversee construction of the line. In 1883, several workers had reported that there were numerous mineral springs in the Canadian Rockies, and Van Horn was struck by an idea. What better way to promote travel on the railway line than by building a grand hotel along the route? In 1886, construction began on the luxurious hotel, which would be placed where the Bow and Spray rivers met. The Banff Springs Hotel would open in 1888 and quickly become one of the top 3 mountain resorts in North America. Many holidaymakers would also head to the Banff Springs Hotel to enjoy time in the nearby mountains, and the hotel even played host to famous people like Marilyn Monroe or Queen Elizabeth I. However, rumors go they were not the only guests at the Banff Springs Hotel. Both guests and workers have reported seeing ghosts inside the hotel. Their most famous apparition is known as the Young Bride, and they actually have her featured on a postage stamp as well as a coin, and different posters scattered throughout the hotel telling her story. But the rumor goes that a young bride was actually on her way to the ballroom to commence her post-wedding festivities when she fell down the stairs and died. Now, some say that she just tripped on her dress, while others say that her dress caught fire from a nearby candle, and still other people thought she might have been pushed. But either way, if you go to the Banff Springs Hotel, you may spot the young bride on the staircase or dancing by herself in the ballroom waiting for her husband. The second spirit that walks the halls of the Banff Springs Hotel is known as Sam the Bellman. Sam Macaulay was described as a gentle Scottish soul who worked at the hotel during the 1960s and 70s as the head bellman. Now, he eventually passed away in 1975, but both staff and visitors to the hotel report that Sam is still very much around and very much as helpful as ever. One story goes that 2 elderly women got locked out of their hotel room and they called on the bellman to come assist them, but he was busy at the time. He eventually made it to their room about 15 minutes after they placed this call, only to find the door unlocked. And when he asked the women about this, they said that an elder bellman in a plaid jacket had come to assist them, and this matched Sam's description. Sam can be spotted in his old office, which is now a guest room, or on the 6th, 7th, or 9th floors. And lastly, we are going to talk about the most controversial room of all in the Banff Springs Hotel, and that is room 873. Every single floor in the hotel has a room number that ends in 73, except the 8th floor. However, if you go onto the 8th floor, there is a hollow sound in the wall, and right when you hear that hollow sound, look down, because there is a fresh baseboard that has been attached like there was a door there before. There's also a light in the ceiling. Now, all down the hallway, there are lights in the ceiling in front of the guest room doors, except here. There's no door here, but there's still a light. Obviously, there was a room there at some point. Now, rumor has it that a man staying at the hotel killed his wife and child before committing suicide, and guests who had previously stayed in room 873 reported having their pillows yanked out from underneath their heads or being pushed off the bed with some unknown force. They also reported waking up in the middle of the night to hear screaming, and the maids who cleaned room 873 often reported bloody fingerprints on the bathroom mirror. They would clean these fingerprints off, but somehow they would come back. Some guests have even reported seeing the spirit of the daughter in the hallway outside room 873 appearing lost. Now, the Banff Springs Hotel denied any happenings in room 873. They said that they boarded it up because they wanted to expand room 875. And while this theory may have been debunked, someone who works at the hotel said that these 3 stories I've told you today are just the beginning. So what's really going on at the Fairmont Banff Hotel? What do you guys think is going on at the Fairmont Banff Hotel? Have you ever stayed there or anywhere else that's considered haunted? I'm curious to know because I have to live through you guys on this one. I am such a big chicken. If I hear the word haunted, I'm not staying there. No, I actually watched a video on the hotel today and someone put in the comments, "I'm here right now." And I'm like, get out, get out. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel if you have not already done so. I will be back tomorrow with part 1 of the Meredith Kircher Amanda Knox case, and I hope you guys will join me then. Bye.